Yes, g'day. I don't know how, but I got lumped with the topic of gay marriage, which is something I get quite cranky about, to tell you the truth. So I kind of wrote a 30-minute tirade with my forehead exploding, and I cut out everything with an exclamation mark. So hopefully I'm left with jokes, but don't count on it. I just want to start off by saying I don't have like a political agenda kind of thing. I really don't care. In my opinion, elections are like police lineups. The only difference is, Badang. Anyway, and I just like things that make sense. For example, Australia has the highest rate of skin cancer in the world, so it doesn't make sense to me on a scientific level that we have a bunch of gingers standing around in the desert with melanomas sprouting off their heads, insisting that people from Africa and the Middle East and Southeast Asia don't belong here, when clearly they were custom designed for this shit. So. It also doesn't make sense to me that anyone can argue against gay marriage. Now, in Australia in 2010, there were 121,176 marriages, and in the same year there were 50,240 divorces, which means that hetero marriages are running at about 58.5% success rate. So it's obvious that we are pretty shit at this marriage business, right? On this basis alone, I reckon we should give some same sexes a crack. We might even learn something from them, you know? It's like if I was trying to hammer in a nail and I keep missing and I just smash my thumb to a bloody pulp, and then when my wife offers to try, I tell her she can't do it because she's a woman. Here are some reasons that heterosexuals get married, right? Someone got pregnant. Someone wants a wedding, they don't care who. That's right, sometimes Charlene doesn't give a shit who Scott is. They're getting older and it's just something they need to tick off the list. Or finally, because they love each other. So let's have a look at some reasons that gay and lesbians would get married. Because they love each other. And yes, they may want to raise kids, but let's face it, we're pretty shit at that too. Yeah? Corey Worthington, everyone remember? Like, people have kids they don't want or didn't plan for all the time, and it's no surprise when these kids grow up to be just total dead shits. And if you don't believe me, go to a V8 race. But think about it, what group of people don't accidentally have kids after having sex at the Year 10 formal and then bring them up in half-assed ways, subconsciously resenting them forever for stealing their youth? Gay people, that's who. The fact that they can't reproduce, I think, makes them ideal candidates for marriage and raising kids, because they could only raise a kid if they really, really wanted to. Hey, Timmy, you could have 2 dads or 2 mums, but people who like families don't like that, so you get to grow up in an orphanage. An analogy, right? If kids were puppies, heteros are the people that like buying puppies from breeders and then they get bored with them and take them to the pound where they're eventually put down. Whereas gay people are the ones who go to that pound and give the unwanted puppies a second chance and a nice collar. Also, if you're going to take this line of argument that only people capable of having kids should marry, you also have to exclude infertile heterosexual couples. That's right, Johnny Lazy Sperm and Susan Barren Womb, you filthy non-breeders. When it comes to saying I do, you should be saying I can't. My next point is I get to raise kids. No questions asked. In fact, I've started raising one already. But I'm not saying you should call docs or anything like that. But let's face it, I'm immature, I wear a fake mustache for a living, I get confused by my quarterly bass, and I think dick jokes are still funny. In fact, I had a meat pie for breakfast this morning, so... chili, beef and cheese. My gay friends are better at life than I am. They are financially more responsible, more organised and neater than I am. A number of Christian types think that marriage is a religious thing, and for some people it is, but so are sunrises and baby birds. Let's face it, most of it is legal business, so chill out, the church. I also think it's weird that an institution with such a dubious past in interfering with children is telling us about not screwing with the family unit. If I had to choose a babysitter out of, say, Stephen Fry or a Catholic priest, I think it's a no-brainer. Someone else is going to have to host QI that night. The only slightly substantial argument against same-sex marriages is that it would become expensive for the government to give them the same financial benefits traditional families receive. Oh no, human rights are so expensive, aren't they? Now Craig Thompson's going to have to pay for his own prostitute. And finally, and most importantly for me, I think that what I do with my genitals in my own private life is my own business. As long as I don't go around being a rapist. Interesting side note, statistically we have more fear from rugby league players than gay people. I should be able to stick my wanger where I like. In a sock, in the pocket of a billiards table, in a waffle iron, on my wife's shoulder while she's watching MasterChef. It's my own business. What same-sex couples do with their genitals is their own damn business. Why do homophobes get to sit around contemplating / fantasising about what goes on behind closed doors in gay and lesbian households? Just imagine it. Two sweaty male forms huddled together, riding in sweaty ecstasy. Or maybe just a greasy mutual handjob in front of the telly on a Tuesday night. It's none of our fucking business! Oh my gosh, it offends me when I imagine it vividly over and over again in my conservative heterosexual mind. They put penises in bottoms. Egads! And now this is something that I actually did research. The internet is full of literally thousands of women who put penises in their bottoms. And no one cares when they get married. What's the deal? Basically, I just reckon, you know, the big argument you keep hearing against gay marriage is, well, marriage traditionally is something between a man and a woman. And voting was once something that white men did. So, you know, let's not be the idiots in 50 years' time who are like, oh, yeah, that was a good idea then. We're a bit late, though.
Now, Obama came out this week, pun intended. He shared his personal views on same-sex marriage. Do you think this is enough to sway Gillard or even Tony Abbott, Scott Abbott?
No, because Obama's not a swing voter.
Desh?
Well, I think the only way they could support gay marriage is if they outlawed gay divorce at the same time. So, but to be honest, Gillard doesn't support marriage anyway. So why would she support gay marriage? It makes no sense.
Also, because Obama came to the decision after saying that he'd spoken to a lot of his friends and family, and Gillard doesn't really have that option because according to the latest polling, she doesn't have any friends.
What I like though, because did you see the Joe Biden interview? Joe Biden said part of his reason for coming to accept gay marriage was largely influenced by the sitcom Will and Grace. And this is where Australia will fall down, because we don't really have an equivalent sort of happy gay sitcom character. Our only real gay television character in Australia is Molly Meldrum, and look how that turned out.
Molly Meldrum jokes are back. Yeah, they're back. Anyone hear episode 2? That's a 1-month callback.
What, you're telling me Mr. Squiggle wasn't gay?
No
comment.
Probably. What about the footy show? Oh no, they haven't made that official yet. Anyway.
Was Nudge gay? He had a lisp at least.
Well, that's why it was called Nudge. Really?
Does that mean?
No, come on. Hey Dad was a show that celebrated family values. Just look at the guy that played the dad.
I disagree. I think raiding Mr. Kelly's fridge was a euphemism for something.
Irrational,